So thanks for coming along. I appreciate it, man. Good to have you. So
Yeah, no problem.
if people are unaware, this is J-Can. Do you go by J-Can or because I
No,
thought
J Can's good. Yeah, J
okay,
Can's good. You can call me J, like J works.
all right,
But yeah, J Can is the yeah,
the
man.
moniker. I was just
Yeah.
gonna say J. I mean, it's easier, but
Yeah. No,
for
yeah, go for it.
people
Yeah.
who want to know, it's J-Can on Twitter and YouTube and such. So yeah, I mean, it's like I said, thanks for coming on. This is our loading screen podcast where we pretty much just talk about gaming, mostly Monster Hunter, because that's what our backgrounds are in. Um,
I got this shirt on,
that's right. So before I get into like my introductory questions and just kind of getting all like the typical nonsense out of the way, if you want to go ahead and introduce yourself, and by all means, go
Yeah.
for it.
Yeah. So I'm J Can, got a YouTube channel, you know what I mean? And then I'm also on Twitter at JoyConJ, right? In
That's why I got
general,
confused. Your Twitter is
yeah,
Joy, not J.
Joy-Con. Yeah. I understand. I'm picking up what you're putting down. I see how it could be, but for the most part, like Monster Hunter has been what has been working for the channel, and like I play it, with my son sometimes. So you get some father son hunts sometimes where like, oh yeah, this is a cool dynamic. Like I'm sharing my love of Monster Hunter, which I've been playing since I was a teenager. And now we both got to this position where like he got a Switch, I got a Switch. The Rise demo came out, and I was like, wait, let's do this. So, and then it turned into like, oh yeah, like let's actually make this happen. Let's get the webcam, let's get the mic, let's make it happen. And we've been kind of doing it ever since. So, ever since the Rise demo days, man.
So, how old is your son?
So, he's 12. He'll be 13 this year.
Okay, that's cool. I was just to say, like, because I know some people who've been trying to play with their kids when they're like, 7 or 8. I'm like,
Oh,
uh,
it's a little
little
too,
young,
yeah, yeah,
little
yeah,
young
yeah,
age.
yeah.
Yeah, 12's a good age. I mean, I just remember like when I was 12, like you're starting to get into that hardcore gaming life.
Yeah, and like he still has the regular titles that a 12-year-old is playing right now. Like he loves Minecraft, the Fortnite, like the typical stuff that a kid plays. But every once in a while, he's, hey dad, let's hunt something. Yeah, let's do it. Like, oh yeah, I want to record something. Yeah, let's go. And I'm not gonna force the game on him. I'm not gonna, hey man, you need to hunt. Come downstairs. I'm killing Rathalos right now. Like, no, that's not what's happening. But he'll approach me with like video ideas and stuff. Heck, recently we did Super Mario Bros. Wonder together. Like we played through the whole
That is a
game.
great fucking game.
Yeah, that game's amazing. And he was like, and it took us a while to beat it because I'm not playing it by myself and he's not playing it by himself. He said, dude, we're gonna beat this together, Dad. All right, shoot, let's go. Let's do it.
That's
So
cool. So, what made you want to start getting into like content creation then with your son rather than just a little hobby thing?
um I don't know. With the Switch you can do the capture, right? And like I had made my Twitter account for my Switch captures. So I think I posted one up one time and I was like, yo, playing with the son, like that's my son. I'm teaching him great sword or whatever. And then one time I used like my phone to record the audio of me like talking to him, right? And then we used this is like super jank, like way back, first video on the channel type. But the 30-second clips, I would just keep pressing it, and then I threw it into an editing software that was like free at the time, and like kind of made it. And people were like, "Yo, this is cool, man. We want to see more of it." Blah blah blah. And I was like, oh, "Okay." And like I know Monster Hunter well, so I started doing some solo stuff too. Like just talking about the game, hunting by myself when the new games come out, all that, and it just grew, man. So we here.
Yeah, that's really cool because it's unique. Not very many people have that whole, father, son, or parents, child dynamic. So it's a unique thing that we have for Monster Hunter here. So that's really neat. I like that.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and start with showing off our drinks. And our brother's not around, but let's get
Oh,
into
good.
that. I guess I'll go ahead and start. So I'm drinking wine as my beverage of choice. This
Okay.
is I'm a bit of a snob. I got my wine wall
Oh,
behind me.
snap.
It's
Yeah.
it's getting a little depleted, but I got to get more. So this is a 2008 Zin and Petite Syrah blend from Paso Robles, where I go and get my wine, and that's what I'm going to be drinking. So
Cool,
what about
cool,
you,
cool.
Jay?
All right, so I'm just gonna do one shot of this, okay? Now
Hard
this,
stuff.
so yeah, hard stuff, real hard stuff. So this is Ray and Nephew rum, okay?
Okay.
Now this comes from my, well, I don't want to say my home country. I was technically born in Canada, but my parents are Jamaicans, right? So this comes from Jamaica, right? Now let me read some stats. What is it? Yeah, it's got stats on here, man. 63% alcohol by volume. All
Wow,
right.
that's really high for rum.
Oh,
Holy
it
crap.
it it goes crazy. And like, we make like rum cake with it. And like we make a rum punch with it. Really
Is it
strong.
flavored?
No, not particularly. It does not taste great. Like there's a clip. There's a clip of a guy drinking this, and he's like, "Oh no," he's a British dude. "Oh no, 0 out of 10. Would not recommend." Blah 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 blah. Right. But I'm gonna do one little shot right here. Right. And I'm gonna do it without making a face. I'm gonna do it without suffering or nothing like that. Just so y'all know, it's the real deal. It's what we do around here. So yeah,
All right. Cheers.
little bit of run. Cheers, man. Here we go.
Stone faced.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Now, here's the secret about doing a shot of this. If you do the shot and then open your mouth and take a breath, it's gonna hurt because the alcohol. So you gotta keep your mouth closed and breathe through your nose while the heat is happening. Oh, it's a little technique to it, man. It's a little technique to it.
I'm gonna have to try that. Remember, my girlfriend tries to make me do tequila shots. Can't do it.
Yeah.
But...
Oh, dude, you don't buy this. Don't buy it this big. Buy it smaller. But I definitely was sick one time, and like one of my aunts, she had a rag and she doused the rag in this and she like rubbed my body with it. It had me sweating, but hey, the cold was dead. It killed the cold. It was crazy.
Vapors killed it, man.
Yeah, it's some stuff, but hey, it's part of like the Jamaican heritage type. Yeah, man, the Ray and Nephew go crazy.
Nice. All right, so let's go ahead and get back into some more personal questions and such. So, obviously, you've been playing Monster Hunter since back in your teen days. So, I got to get all the dumb like standard questions out of the way.
Yeah.
But it's just it's for getting people familiar with you. So, when did you start playing Monster Hunter? Like, which was your first Monster Hunter game, and how was that experience like for you?
Okay, so first Monster Hunter is Monster Hunter Tri on Wii. With the classic controller. I'm actually looking at it on my shelf right now, but I still have it. Still works. Still got the OG hardware, classic controller, and I bought it in the big box with the classic controller in it. Didn't get a Wii Speak, so I wasn't like online like chatting in a voice chat, but yeah. My first wall was Baroth. Yeah, Baroth walled me out, bro.
Try Baroth is fucking no joke, man.
Yeah, so try Baroth. I think that was the first time I used Lance to do it. I do remember like my first playthrough was a longsword playthrough, which is why I don't play longsword anymore. Like I was like, bro, I've played enough longsword for. But and I just couldn't do it. I don't know. I couldn't do it. Switched to Lance, poke, guard, poke, got it done. Put the Lance away, and I didn't pick up the Lance again until Sunbreak.
Did you feel like you were cheating at that point? Like, this is too easy, man. Like,
I don't know. I don't know what happened, but I definitely remember overcoming him with the Lance, and I was like, huh, all right, back to the longsword, because yeah. So, and then I just bought it on a whim. Like I didn't have like a friend who was in the game. Like I hear that a lot with other creators. Yeah, I was in the Walmart by my house, man. I was like 16, 17 years old because I definitely had a car at the time. And in Walmart, they used to have the TVs with the display, and I think an ad for the game was playing, and it caught my attention.
I've been waiting for someone to say that they saw the Tri ads back in the day, and that's what got them to play.
Yes. So like you go to Walmart in the gaming section, they got the TVs way up high. You got to crack your neck to look at them. And I'm looking at this thing, and I'm like, yo, what game? What is that? Right? Like went home, did the Googling, found out what it was. And the reason why I know I had a car at this point was my mom and dad, they used to give me gas money to put in the Honda. Well, I ain't put no gas in the Honda, and I bought Monster Hunter Tri, so I didn't go anywhere for a while. Yeah, man, I didn't go anywhere for a while, and I bought Tri with the classic controller, and there it is, man.
Wow. So do you finished all of Try then? Like on your
I did finish it. I made it. Yeah, I think I finished it. Like I could probably boot up my old save. I'm probably wearing full Devil Joe because I think that was the only weapon in that game that had purple sharpness. But I definitely, yeah, Sedeus, Lagia
and
Cruz,
so
all
you
that.
were drawn to it immediately then, right?
Yeah. I was like, all right, I bought this. Let me figure this out. And like, and it was I think to this day, like I still do a whole lot of solo stuff. Like if you look at the channel, like if I'm hunting a new monster, I'm gonna do it by myself, even if I get clapped, like because that's just how
You
I
got to
grew up playing
experience
it.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, like and that's just how I experienced it. Like coming up, it was super solo, and like yeah, I'd go online with randoms, but you know the lobby system back then was they didn't have SOS flares,
Yeah,
but
but Lock
yeah,
Lack was still pretty cool.
yeah, it was still
Wait,
pretty dope.
yeah, Try had Lock Lack. Yeah.
Tr-
Yeah.
yeah, try had lock lat, and then yeah, but yeah, I just played it and like got to the end, and I was like, okay, this cool. And then 3U came out on Wii U. I had the copy on the Wii U and the 3DS, and by that time, like I was kind of traveling to college. But when I would come home for the breaks, transfer the save out the 3DS into the Wii U, play online, transfer it back into the 3DS, go back to the dorms, solo dolo everything, getting
Nice.
clapped by Pink Rathian and Misty Peaks, all that, you know.
Dude, I'm impressed because like yeah, my first experience was back in 3U on the 3DS and I hated it. I was like, what is this? It is so jank and impossible to play. And
Yeah.
I dropped it for a couple years until 4U came out. So I'm surprised that you no experience, no any recommendations, no one telling you. You're just like, I'm gonna pick it up, I'm gonna play it, and got through all of it.
Love it. Yeah. And now I can't say like my memory at this point, you know, I can't say it was like smooth sailing, you know, like I
I mean,
definitely
no
had some
one's first time
hardships, you
ever
know.
is, right? Come on.
Yeah. But hey, we made it, you know. So
Yeah, that's really cool. So by now, so you don't play long story anymore. So then, what do you try to focus on? Like just hammer?
um Hammer. I do love Hammer. Yeah, the profile pic is a Hammer on the channel. So Hammer, how did I get into Hammer? I think it was my second 3U save. So what I used to do was like I would beat the game and then I would make another character and then main a different weapon all the way through, right? So actually, I think it might have been my try playthrough, a second try playthrough. I played Hammer, fell in love, but then, you know, 3U comes out and it has all the weapons back, right? Because Try didn't have all the weapons.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, bet, dual blades, let's go. Because cool. So ran with the dual blades. 4U comes out, comes with 2 new weapons. I picked Charge Blade of the 2 new weapons. Ran with that for a long time. Generations, I went with Sword and Shield. And then
Did you
World, I
get
was
it?
kind of. Go
Sorry,
ahead.
I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, go for it. Go for it.
I was say, so when you got into Sword and Shield for Gen, did you get on that, striker style Sword and Shield, which is the Hunter Art
Mm-hmm.
spam shit? It was good. It was good
And
times.
I didn't do it on purpose, but like the pattern is I try to pick a new weapon every time, you know?
Mhm.
And then World, I don't remember what I did with World. But I think I was kind of all over the map with World, but like Hammer is the fallback. Hammer is the comfort food. But I'm always trying new weapons. And then like Sunbreak Rise, I became a content creator. But I went hunting horn, right? For like the first time, really dived in, dived. What the heck? Dove in and learned about the hunting horn, got better at it, and then started playing it coming back because I played base generations with Sword and Shield, and then GU I'm kind of all over the map again still because I played that after I became a content creator, right?
Okay, so you did that like in the past couple years. You went back to GU.
Yeah, I have on my channel a playlist of like Road to Atalca, right? Like I have the entire G rank experience as a playlist on my channel. So that's me coming back. Like once I became a content creator, I kind of all right. I know a little bit about every weapon. You know what I mean? And part of that comes from learning it while teaching it to the guy upstairs sleeping. He was like, "Hey, Dad, I want to play greatsword. All right, let me see if I remember how to teach this man how to tackle," which in turn makes me better. So oh yeah.
It's a good fountain of knowledge to have. So have you gone back to play any of the other games and like do more of that for your content creation? Are you gonna do like 4U, 3U playthroughs and get that uploaded, or what are your plans right now?
So
Before
right,
Wilds, obviously.
for sure, yeah. Like right now, I try to do like every Sunday like a more nuanced like discussion type video on Sunday, and then in the middle of the week somewhere, particularly Wednesday, I have a hunt of some kind. So right now I'm working on getting the big boy crown in GU, all the EXs, right? So
Mm.
I got a couple of them left.
That's a lot of grinding.
Oh, dude, but they're all at G rank now. I think they're all at G2 at least, because for a while I was going through, okay,
Dude, I
one,
hate
two, two,
that
two,
in
two, two.
GU, like you have to start all the deviants besides the new ones back
hmm
at low rank. Like we just start them at G rank like everyone else.
Yes,
Like, come
dude.
on.
But I'm at the point where all of the old ones are up to G rank,
Mhm.
right? So I think I'm at the G2 on every monster, and then I have an EX loaded up, ready to go. I think I have Malfestio up next,
Oh, he's fun.
actually.
Dude,
Yeah,
they need to bring that guy back. We don't have like
man.
birds, and I love fighting on Phemeto.
Dude, yes, I agree. I agree. He's the last invisible guy to not show up in 5th gen yet, right? Because we had Lucent come through, we got Chameleos come through. Malfestio.
That'd be cool.
So
Yeah, if we get him
yeah,
back for Wilds, that'd be awesome.
dude, yeah.
So are you mainly Hunting Horn then for your GU playthrough?
No, GU, I'm all over the map again. But at first, like for the grind up to Atalka, it was a whole lot of hunting horn. But now I'm doing all the EXs, so I'll do anything. You know what I'm saying? Hunting, I'm all over the map again. You know, kind of what is it? Noctis from Final Fantasy 15 when you got all the weapons. Like I could just wield any of this. Like what's up?
Nice. All right, cool. Well, at least you're familiar with everything. That's the one thing I can't seem to get like a grasp on. Like I'll play melee from time to time. Like I did a lot of Hunting Horn in Gunlance and World,
Mm.
but I don't know. It doesn't click for me. It hasn't.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like we're opposites. Like I can shoot a gun. Don't get me wrong. I can handle some blicky, but like not the way that you got it, bro. Like the gunner's guild, like yo, I don't have it like that. But I'm real good with all the blade master weapons. Don't get me wrong. I could craft for a heavy bow gun, a light bow gun, a bow, but really it's mainly like 5th gen stuff, right? Like and that's different. Like 5th gen gunning is different than 4th gen
It is,
and
and I
different
don't like
than
it to be
yeah.
honest. Like I'm not a fifth gen gunner. Like it, I do it because I have to, but I honestly prefer like fourth gen and third gen
Mm.
gunning. Like, and I'm starting to play Freedom Unite now for the first time,
Ooh,
and
okay.
dude, heavy bowgun is gross in that game. It's so
Yeah.
absurd. Like
Does it have the scope?
no, no. So what?
I
The thing about yeah, the scope is stupid. It's dumb.
yeah. I
Like
missed the scope. I was like, what happened to it? Yeah.
the scope, like I remember seeing like the trailers when Iceborne came out and we all saw the scope, and once they told us what it did, we're like, all right, that's gonna be absolutely mandatory for everything going forward.
hmm
And it's crazy. um but in Freedom Unite, the thing about the bowguns is that they don't upgrade like normal weapons. You just build
Mm.
it once. Like okay, so like the low rank like Rathalos weapon or whatever, Rathalos heavy bowgun is the same one as like the G rank. You just upgrade that one gun, but to upgrade them, it's not
Oh.
even materials; it's just money. So you can build like the low rank of a weapon of a bowgun, and then upgrade it as far as you can go with money. And it's
Oh.
just,
Dude, so if you got like a decent money farm going on, like if you're mining, you got a bunch of macrolite that you're selling,
yeah, you're doing your
you could
farms
get like a G rank gun early.
really, yeah, really early on. Yeah,
Oh,
it's
okay.
pretty insane. So like I started playing with bow in Freedom Unite because bow actually feels really good in that game too. But then once I
Mm.
realized that heavy bowgun just upgrades on money, I'm like, okay, cool. I got a high rank gun and low rank now. Let's go.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Let's get the Pierce threes going. Siege. What is there siege back then?
No,
No,
it's a
huh?
fourth gen thing. Yeah, there's not. Oh
Yeah.
no,
So you could
third
just
gen. I think yeah, there's siege in 3U. So,
yeah.
but not in Freedom Unite.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
but yeah,
And even though like we're opposites and like you're the gun guy, right? And like I like Blade Master. Um I really got to thinking like people want new weapons, right? It's been a while since we got a new weapon.
yeah.
And I was
Bring
like,
back my
man,
cats.
right, bring back the cats. But also I was sitting there looking at the guns like when the last time gun got something interesting? Like, and you're like, man, I don't really want a new gun. Actually, I just want to rework the whole thing. And I was like, dude, that's an interesting like point of view
Oh,
looking
you
at
want to
it.
go into that real quick? Because I've got my notes
Yeah.
written down. So
Oh, let's go.
Try had a really good system, I think. I don't think the implementation was great, but I mean, they can always be fixed and tuned. But
For
Try's
sure.
bowgun system, they didn't have light and heavy. They just had the bowgun. And you built it with parts where you have like
Hmm.
a barrel, a frame, and a stock. And then depending on the weight of the parts,
Wait,
is you were light or heavy, and it would determine if you're collapsible or not, which like was your draw
right. Or
animation.
medium, right? Medium bowgun.
Right, yeah, because everyone just ended up going medium because it's like, who doesn't want to have the power of a heavy bowgun, but I can run around like a light bowgun.
Hmm.
But here's what I'm thinking. So, yes, everyone needs a new weapon. And I don't know if Capcom wants to necessarily just keep introducing more and more weapons. So,
For
what
sure.
if we went back to try bowguns, where it's just bowgun, and then that gives us a free space for another weapon. We can deal with
Mm,
that one, but we can cut off one, but not really, and add a new one. And
I
so
see.
there's a couple things I want to fix with bowguns, particularly. The first is obviously no light, no heavy. We just have bowgun. Because right now in fifth gen, there's not much of a difference between light and heavy. They do the same
Yeah,
damage, they load the same emos, they pretty much do everything. It's just
that's
light
true.
can
That's
run
true.
around, and heavy bowgun
Except,
just doesn't.
yeah, and even like Sunbreak, like, yeah, you have different switch skills, right? But like, okay, like one does rapid, one does siege. I get it. I see it. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, but there's no reason that you can't have charged on a light bowgun or rapid fire on a heavy bowgun. It's just a shooting style, and
Yeah.
it actually works. If you mod the game, you can actually put like rapid fire on a heavy bowgun or stuff like that, or like charge shots on a light bowgun. It's
Yeah.
just it's like, why do we need the two? I don't think we need the two.
Yeah.
So
I hear you.
I want to go back to try bowgun system where we build it with our weights and stuff, but I want to do some changes to that. So I want to reintroduce internal MOs from Generations, which, if people are unfamiliar, basically every bowgun had a set of MOs that can't be crafted, but they're also unique and powerful MOs that you just had on the hunts, like MOs that would always crit if you hit a weak spot, MOs that had maximum crit distance for the entire length. It was basically a hit scan MO. You had cannon shots, tri blast, which were better like elemental and KO stuff, all sorts of weird stuff. I loved internal
Yeah.
MOs.
Yeah. That's so specific, it seems. Yeah.
And then, so I want to have those attached to the parts for the tri system. So when you build parts for your bowgun, the parts also carry some internal MOs depending on the monster's parts that would have. So you can kind of build your own set of internal MOs as well when you're building your parts.
Mm.
Um, and then other than that, I would redo the whole MO system, because right now it's like you just use level 3 MOs and everything else is neglected.
Right.
But honestly, I would just condense it so we just have like 1 or 2 levels of MO. We don't think we need 3.
Right.
Um, but then there's 2 other issues that I have with bowguns, or I guess there's more actually. I have written here. Recoil on the bowgun system forever. It's not recoil in like as you would see it from any other game. It's actually your rate of fire. Your recoil
Oh, yeah.
determines the time between your next shot.
Mm.
Now, I would prefer if recoil actually did like move your reticle up and out of the way, and that's something that you have to
So that you had
compensate
to,
with. Yeah,
yeah.
with each shot. So it's more skill based where you have to keep adjusting it. And then to tie in with that, the deviation, which is shoot left, shoot right, but in like depending on the game, sometimes it doesn't even matter. Like I think in fourth gen, you could have like left severe and it barely moves. It's like
It
it's not a
barely
big
turns.
deal. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I would prefer if deviation was like a reticle, like in a normal game, that just expanded, and so your bullets would just kind of
Oh,
go around in there, so it's not super precise, and you
kind of like
can't.
Splatoon.
Yeah, like Splatoon.
Yeah. Because,
So
like, yeah.
yeah, it would
Okay.
grow. So
Mm.
between that and the recoil, your aiming is kind of all over the place, and that would take a lot of the guaranteed damage that bowguns have, because it's just right now it's just point and click. You're always going to hit your shot regardless
Yeah.
of whatever, and would turn it to more skill based where you have to fix your deviation and wait for your spread to collapse back to get more perfect shots. And I think that would add a
Mm.
lot more interesting elements to actually
Yeah.
shooting.
And
Uh,
depth, right? Yeah. Because even now, like, every once in a while, like I'll play some heavy bow gun, some light bow gun, and sometimes it just feels like tap the ZR, tap the
Yeah,
ZR,
that's all
tap
you're
the
doing,
Z. Yeah.
pushing R2
Yeah.
or whatever. It's just like it gets kind of boring. So,
Yeah, yeah.
and then the other thing I want is while Adept had it back in Gen, Monster Hunter
Mm,
now is also doing it where you have the perfect dodges that give you the boost for your next like
right.
shots. Honestly, I think every weapon in going in like wilds and going forward needs that. I love that kind of thing. I think we have a skill for it in Sunbreak, but it's basically you get a buff on perfect dodges. I
Mm,
love that.
yeah,
So
yeah, yeah. That's and it just like rewards like, oh, learning the
good
monster's
gameplay. Yeah.
tales, like not only does it intrinsically feel good to roll through a Nargacuga tail swipe, but when you do it, a status trigger, what's up, right? Or
Yeah.
when you do it, like, ooh, the next hit I'm about to do, because I can roll through the tail. Like, I see you. Yeah.
Right.
Mm,
Like stuff like that just make like the reward makes it feel good. Like yeah, it doing it is always feels good, but now you're like, "Oh, I have like incentives for doing it, not just I'm going to walk away a little bit and not get hit."
right, 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 right. Okay.
So, I want that. And then the only other things I want to change is I want to shoot and walk to reload to become mandatory just if they're going to keep that because right now we don't use any gun that doesn't have walk and shoot or walk and reload. There's just on their ammo that
Yeah.
you want to use. This is pointless. So just make that standard across the board. Just have that do a thing.
So
And
that all
then
guns are, yeah. Okay.
yeah, and then light bowgun needs to tone down the walk speed. Light bowgun is so safe in fifth gen that it's like you just walk and shoot. You don't have to dodge. You don't have to do anything. And it's like
Yeah.
that's why it kind of gets a bad rap. It's like the easiest weapon to play because you don't have
Hmm.
to dodge or learn anything. And so I
Yeah.
want the
Along
walk
with
speed to be
rapid too. Along with rapid on top, like it's
yeah,
just
exactly.
yeah,
Rapid
yeah.
normal twos are just like blink, 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 and then you're just playing like Space Invaders with a monster.
Mm-hmm.
So
And I said this. I think I tweeted this out one day, but like solo gun is hard because if the monster sneezes on you, you're dead, right?
regard, yeah, you're just dead. You get
Yeah,
one
like
tap.
it's yeah, one tap. But like multiplayer gun is uber easy.
Yeah,
Like the easiest way to play the game, multiplayer gun, right? And then I think multiplayer Blade Master would be under that. And then solo Blade Master is harder than multi Blade Master, but then solo gun is harder than solo Blade Master. So yeah, it feels like if you play a lot of multiplayer, if you're always shooting off SOS flares, and you know you're a gun guy, you're like, yeah, game's easy. Bloop, 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 bloop. I'm like, all right,
yeah, it's
solo that
easy when the
joint.
monster doesn't aggro on you. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, solo that joint. It's gonna be a little different.
Yeah, well, people don't give like solo heavy bowgun TA stuff enough credit to be honest. Like
Dude,
when you have no tools and one hit and you're dead, like
dude, it's
scary.
so yeah. Like if you're not playing with the shield, oh, dude. And even if you are, like if you're in the middle of firing and like Risen Shigaru looks at you wrong and says, you know what? Ah, breath. You're out of there. Like you're out of there. Yeah, that's a cart. And dude, that TA stuff is so crazy. Like it just requires like so much. And you know, for every TA run that you look at, it's guaranteed hours and hours and hours and hours of practice, scripting, and it's just so crazy the amount of dedication it takes to have a decent TA run with any weapon, much less solo gun. Craziness, man.
Dude, I love watching TA gun lance, hunting horn, and regular lance, and sword and shield actually.
Yep.
Just because those weapons in general are just hard to play. They're difficult,
Mm.
and seeing them like perform to the best of their ability always just looks like such an amazing dance. And I get jealous. That's why like I try to play like gunlance and hunting horn when I can because they're like the underdog weapons. But
Yep.
I'm like, dude, I could see why, man. It is just really hard to play this stuff. And
For
like I
sure.
love gunlance. It's such a flashy weapon. It's so stylish. I love it. But
Yeah,
it's
it
like
looks cool.
it looks cool. But it's like when I do like poke poke full burst and I'm like 400 damage, like I could shoot once with the
Oh,
bowgun and get that.
I was
Like
like, that's it. Like, yeah, it's and it's so committal, right? Like poke.
yeah,
Okay, X
long
force like
animations.
slam. Okay, push the button. Boom. Okay, now I gotta reload. Put the guard. Okay, poke.
And then
Like
you got
it's a
short hop.
long time. Yeah, it is a long time.
Mhm.
And then like you know you got fifth gen longsword.
Yeah.
Got
I
it. Like
can't get dealt damage. Just
right, like it's just so crazy. Like, but still, even watching, I think I watched like a Peppo run the other day, and I was like, dude, it looks so easy, but it's not. Like landing every single counter without fail, like that joint. It looks crazy. It
Could
looks
you
like a
imagine how
dance.
many runs Peppo has to do to make sure all those hits actually hit? Because I mean, ever since fifth gen, longsword hit registration has been just whack. Like,
Right, right, yeah, and there is like something there. People like to meme on my guy, like Peppo's complaining about it, but like sometimes you do a spirit breaker and you're like, where are my
nothing,
numbers?
no
What
damage
what
numbers. Yeah,
happened? Like what? Like did I miss? Yeah, yeah,
yeah, it's
for
definitely a
sure.
thing. Yeah, I know people meme on. I mean, I do it too. Like, we all kind of like joke on it, but it's the same
Yeah,
thing when people joke on like gunning. Like, really, you just push R2. That's your whole game. Like, kinda,
yeah,
yeah.
kind of, yeah,
But yeah,
yeah.
longsword is. I think longsword's probably gonna be really frustrating when you're playing at that level, and the game's just like,
Mm.
nah, not giving it
I
to
don't
you.
feel like it. Yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure. So like you want bowguns to be collapsed into just bowgun, right? So
Right.
then that takes us back to 13 weapons, right?
Right. So I would love if we get another one. Either.
Yeah,
So okay, so let's go with this. Before we get into next weapon,
yeah.
what would you want to see changed in whatever weapon that you're maining? Hammer, longsword, whatever going forward that you just don't particularly like right
Um,
now.
so I love hammer. I love what they're doing with the charge like stances, how you can swap them. Um, but and I think this is like an isolated problem with Sunbreak. I did make a whole video on this. It's kind of redundant, right? Because like with Wyvern Ride, Wall Bang, Marionette Spider, Paralysis, Thunder Beetle, like our thing, KO King, we gonna score the knockouts, we gonna get the knockdowns. But like there's so many opportunities to knock down the monster already that our job just kind of
That
feels
niche is
redundant.
gone. Yeah.
Yeah, it's gone. Like, oh yeah, you know, it used to be, oh, there's a hammer in the party. Let's go. We gonna get a KO. It's gonna be great. But now it's like marionette spider into the wall. It's wall bang into the wall. Like the monster's always on the ground. And of course, like you can extend the amount of time that the monster's on the ground with the KO. Of course, you know, with a well-timed KO. But it just feels like, okay, what are we even here for? And then like the end game monsters, oh, they're not exhaustible. You can't do
Right.
exhaust on it, right? You can't
They
KO if
recover
Fatalis.
immediately on. Yeah.
Right. So it's like, okay, what are we even doing here, right? So that does feel like a Sunbreak specific problem.
I
But
don't think it's specific to Sunbreak, but it is definitely a fifth gen issue because of the
mm,
way it like also scaling works for status and stuff in multiplayer.
mm-hmm.
Because the status threshold for a KO gets just grows like exponentially, so you can get like
Fast.
one, but then
Mm,
after that, like third, you'll never get like your second or third KO. So it's like
hmm.
Hammer feels kind of like out of luck there.
Right. Well, and so like Hammer and World and Iceborne has its place. It hits hard. You're gonna get big numbers. Aerial hammer is good. You jumping off the thing, change direction, blah blah blah. That's great. But like Sunbreak, I was like, man, Sword and Shield kind of better at this. Like if you land those Metsu Shoryugekis, right? Like sticky ammo is crazy. And then like you look at the move set for the hammer and you're like, we're kind of weak right now, huh? Like,
Mm-hmm.
you know. So that's one of the issues I have with hammer is just make it feel strong again. Make it come back to all right.
Well, and
We
so how
swinging a big stick. Yeah.
Mhm. So how would you want to do that? Would you want to do that in the terms of like just give it more KO damage, or would you want to change its move setup to give it something else to do?
I think I just want to give it like more KO damage. I want it to live up to the name of KO King, right? The idea of being out KO'd by a sword and shield kind of irks me a little bit.
Or
Like,
world
bro,
bow?
right? Like, what? Why is
Coconuts.
a bow? Yeah, like what the heck? Why is that better than wielding a toilet-sized hammer and knocking a monster in the face? That doesn't make sense to me. So, like, definitely want to increase the KO damage, or even like have it to where and this is kind of situational, like it may be hard to program, but when a monster is KO'd, we do even more bonus damage on top,
I feel like that's
right?
easy enough.
You know what I mean? So like, and maybe that could be specific to hammer and even hunting horn, but hunting
So,
horn has songs.
well,
Yeah.
so if you didn't know, back in like fourth gen and I think even third gen, when a monster is paralyzed, it takes 10% more damage. Not a lot of people
Mm,
know that. So I think it would be easy enough to do that
yeah.
while a monster is KO'd, they take like 10-15% blunt damage. So it'd be for
Yeah.
hammer and hunting horn.
Yeah.
So
There we go.
you get more damage opportunities on those KOs.
Bingo, bingo. Because like even if we're not the best at dealing KOs all the time, right? There's gonna be some sort of cheese. There's gonna be sticky ammo is crazy, right? There's gonna be some sort of real cheesy way to score a knockdown, but the reward for scoring the KO is higher in the blunt weapons with that bonus damage on top.
Right.
And like really knowing your combos and okay, it's time to do the combo that does the most damage right here because I scored this KO, right? And it's a bit more rewarding for the KO weapons. But also, yeah. But also, I do want like a fast blunt weapon. Like maybe you bring back Ton Fuzz and you change them, or like introduce right to not fly around, or like introduce like a boxing weapon type weapon because like hammer big and slow, like yeah you charge, you're mobile, but like it's a big and slow swinging weapon. Hunting Horn, they made it a bit faster in Sunbreak, but I don't know. I kind of like the World Hunting Horn a lot. So, and that's a little bit.
Hunting Horn's the best hunting horn we've ever had.
It feels so and good. It feels good, but it's a little slower, right? It's gonna take you a while to okay, recital. It takes a little bit. So if you want to play blunt, you got to do a slow weapon. Why can't we have like a dual blades, right? Like boxing gloves type beat.
So counter argument, rather than add a new weapon specifically for that, what if Sword and Shield or Dual Blades had the options of Sword and Shield, 2 shields, just shield bashes, or Dual Blades had a blunt option where you can have daggers or like drumsticks or whatever.
Drumsticks, yeah. No, I'd be down with that. Yeah, I've toyed with the idea of every weapon having a blunt and bladed like option. Like if you really like the hammer moveset, but you want to cut tail, you're kind of shit. I think there have to be some
limitations. Like longsword, sure. I don't think you could do like a blunt. Great sword, you have a great club that works, right? But longsword, I don't know.
Right, but well, maybe some weapons, right? Because like I think Wild Hearts did that, right? Where some of them were cutting, some of them were blunt, but it was still the maul, right? Like it was still that same moveset.
It was still that the hammer and no, not Wild Hearts. Sorry, I was thinking Dauntless.
Okay, I need to play Dauntless.
Oh, you didn't?
No, I need to. Yeah.
No, you don't need to. It's fine. It was cool when it was like coming up, but now it's pretty much abandoned at this point. They do like some maintenance updates and stuff, but nothing significant. But yeah, like Maul. I think that's the cool thing that Wild Hearts had was like all their weapons were like 2 weapons. They did like 2 different things and like mode shifts for them. Maul was fun, because Maul played like a combo weapon. Like
like you had to time all of the extensions. I was like, it's still hammer, but it's different. I like this, Yeah. But the state of the release gives it like a bad rap. You know what I mean?
Have like, you played it like now that it's like done updates and stuff?
Yeah. I played on PS5. I played on PS5, which was like supposedly the best platform to play it on anyway. So like I never really had an issue with like performance and bugs and all that. Yeah. So I just had fun with it. Like, it's different. Still hunting. I like it.
I'm kind of sad that it's kind of done now. They're not really going to continue updating because I thought it had a lot of really good ideas and I really liked it.
For sure. And like the EA Play, what is it? Game Pass, like it gave it some life. I was like, oh, wait a minute, it's not dead yet. It can be played for free. People are playing. Jump on. But
I don't know how long those servers are going to last though, but at least it is completely playable offline. It's not one of those tied to online games, so even if they shut everything down, you'll still be able to enjoy it, and that's pretty cool.
Yeah, for sure. But like, I don't know if it like sold well enough to warrant a Wild Hearts 2. Like, I don't know if the guys at EA are like, yeah, we're gonna do it again. So, probably not.
So here's what I'm thinking about that. So Omega Force that did Wild Hearts has done like I'm gonna butcher the name because I do it every time. Tuikoden, I don't know, but it's another
Suikoden. I know,
not Suikoden, Tweakoden or Tuikoden, because it is another Monster Hunter-ish like slay giant monsters game. And then they also do all like the Dynasty Warriors and stuff, or at least like the spin-off ones. So I don't think the company is going anywhere. Like they're gonna keep releasing their stuff. I'm just hoping that they take what they've learned from Wild Hearts in that the monsters and the fights I thought were excellent. I love all the fights. The weapons they need help.
Hit and miss sometimes,
But so I like the monsters and then the maps and being able to like build on the maps and set up your bases and your shortcuts and all that stuff. I thought that was the
Yeah,
best part about the game, and just is very engaging. And I
for
hope they
sure.
take that into like the next tweak it in, if that's even how you fucking say
Whatever
it,
it
or whatever
is.
the next project is. Like they might not
Yeah.
make a Wild Hearts 2 or continue Wild Hearts, but I don't want that knowledge lost. And
Mm,
so I'm excited for whatever they do next, because I think
for sure.
Wild Hearts, while not a commercial success, had a lot of really strong points.
For sure, yeah, and it's nice to like, yeah. There's only what is it, 5, 6 maps, but every time you would do the equivalent of an SOS, or you showed up in someone else's map, you're like, hey, I like the way you light out these flying vines,
Right?
like,
Yeah, like learning
like,
other people's like shortcuts and paths. That's great.
hmm yeah, it's nice because all the maps are the same, but they're different because you
Mm-hmm.
get to build on them. Like it's pretty cool. Yeah, I do like some of the ideas that Wild Hearts put down. So
Yeah. So hopefully we get something else in the future. I don't
mm,
see any other like hunting style game like announced or leaked or anything like that. So we're probably gonna be stuck with Monster Hunter. Not saying it's
yeah,
bad. Everyone
nah,
loves
yeah.
Monster Hunter, but we're gonna be stuck with that for probably at least until like 2026 or something. So
Yeah, and I would suppose that like Monster Hunter Wild support is gonna be quite long, like comes out 25, probably supported base game for like the year, maybe a year and change. There's gonna be a gap, then G rank comes out, so we're probably gonna be playing Wilds until like realistically 27, right?
that's what I was
Like,
thinking too. Yeah,
yeah,
like it'll be a while. And then they might have like some phone game stuff or some like spin-off things in between, but I don't think we're gonna get like an actual other like Monster Hunter game for probably until 28 maybe.
yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah, we'll be,
something
hopefully it's
like that.
good. So
Yeah.
it's getting into the wilds thing. So what is one of like the biggest things that you don't really like in fifth gen that you want to see changed for wilds going into the sixth gen?
Don't like in fifth gen. Changed for sixth. Huh. That's a good question. I think I want the the speed of the game to come back just a little bit. Just a little bit. Like we're getting faster, we're getting faster. Sunbreak is uber fast. Like, whoa, hey, we can slow that down. Like sometimes it feels a little bit much to be playing Sunbreak with how fast you can be and how fast the monsters are. It's like, dude, this is too fast. Like we can slow this
It's like
down
Devil
for a
May
little bit.
Cry.
Yeah, yeah, not quite, but yeah. So it's going fast. I do want it to get a little bit slower. And item management. I want item management to kind of make a return in some way, right?
Mhm.
Because like the tents all over the place, I'll just go restock, and then they have to design monsters and fights in that way. Where like, okay,
You have
how
the
do we
option
design?
to change.
Right,
Yeah.
right. So like that's why I feel like Alatreon was such a sore spot, right? Not allowed to Farcaster back because if you could just Farcaster back, infinite, it's fine. They have to make a way for it to just outright kill you if you don't do it right. And
Hmm.
like it starts to get not as fun. You know what I mean? When like, oh, this is BS. The game is forcing me to play a certain type of way. We've had that discourse. But yeah, I think we should manage our items a little bit better and like have a reward for, yeah, man, I made it through the hunt and I still got 2 mega potions left. Like, yeah, I did it, rather than, oh, I'm out of potions. Now I got to scrounge around and, okay, pick up blue mushrooms over here.
Dude,
There was some honey over there. Like,
I
yeah,
had that in try where I ran out. I think I was playing Lance to get Lagiacrus's tail, and I ran out of whetstones. I think I forgot to bring whetstones because I just swapped from my gunner pouch to blade master pouch to go do it. And I had to
yeah.
scrounge for stones and like crap to like make my whetstones and to make potions to get back in there. I was like,
hmm
people who play like fifth gen have no idea what that's
No
like.
idea what that's like. No, like it's lost on them. Like, oh, and then also like people don't know. I think I did this in GU one time. I had somebody on the channel like I'll tweet out like, "Hey, I'm hunting this. It's gonna be a video. You could be in the video. Anybody could be on the channel. Like, I'm really willing to collab with like any and everybody at that point." But we're playing the game. We're on Volcanic Hollow, and he's like, "Yo, I ran out of cool drink." I said, "That ain't no problem. Here, I'll give you 2." But people don't know that you could give
You can
items
give out, yeah.
away.
They're like,
Yeah, so
how do I
like,
take items?
yeah, my character is standing there, bling, 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 and he's like, I see him kind of walk up. He pushes the button, and then we move on, and he like hit me in my DMs like, bro, I didn't know you could send items. I was like, yeah, dog. If it's
And
under, I think
the
rarity
crazy, it's
4.
still a thing. Even in fifth gen, you can
Mhm.
still do it, but nobody ever does it.
Yeah, yeah. Just hey, bro, just go back to your tent and I'll see you at the hunt later. Like, yeah. So it used to be like I remember, like way back in the gap, the gunners would be like, hey man, bring XYZ for me, and when I ping, hand
Yeah,
me more latchberries.
dude. Yeah, that was but back in like fourth gen and stuff. We did that all the time. Like, hey, can you carry this MO for me?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I love that. And then that and little stuff like that sounds like an inconvenience, but it just makes the game more real, natural, and like you have to do like that communication, that prep work of like I
Mm-hmm.
know I'm gonna run out of ammo in this fight. You gotta help me with that.
Yes, yes, yes. And it's camaraderie, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
we play this it's not a competitive game. It's a co-op game. Like, you know what I mean? So like, yeah, you can compete like, oh, I killed the monster faster than you. Whatever. That is chock full of RNG. But like it's a co-op game. Like, let's talk to each other. Hey, how can I help you? You know, life powders, blue mushrooms with the mushroom man, all that. Like, hey, I can hold an ammo for you. Hell yeah.
So, and I love the co-op stuff, and this is actually where I liked Guided Lands and Iceborne when
Mm,
it first came out because everyone had to kind of do their own land and then get their friends to come in and be like, "Oh, you have this monster, I need those parts to upgrade whatever," and you're like, "Oh,
mm-hmm.
well, you're doing this one, you have like the desert's level 7, so I need to go out there and kill Lunastra," and I like little stuff like that because I know nobody liked the Guided Lands. I thought it was a good idea,
No,
maybe a
Goblin
little poorly
Lancer.
implemented, but I thought the idea was good. And
Mm-hmm.
I would love to see that more stuff like that going into Wilds as well. Like we're slowing the game down. We require more prep work, require more teamwork, and it's not just start the quest, teleport in front of the monster, kill the monster, get out. Like
Oh yeah.
I want it to slow down as well, 100%.
Yeah, for sure. And like, we got to speculate a little bit, but like, if it's gonna be a really, really big map, right? Like, if the map that we're gonna get is gonna be just a really big guiding land, it's like, all right, let me go to the ice part. All right, now let me come back over here to the volcanic part, and then I gotta go to the forest part. And you're spending a lot of time. It'll feel kind of guiding lands ish, like how you could spend hours in the guiding lands just killing a bunch of stuff. And then when you're satisfied with your expedition, you go home. All right, bro, I'm about to make this. Like, I feel like that could be like really cool to just be engaged that long, which is kind of the opposite of Sunbreak, right? Load something up, kill it in 5 minutes. All right, I'm done. You know? Yeah.
Right. You want to know why I know that Wilds is going to be an open world map like that? It's
Mm.
because they did the same thing that every single open world game does and has the character run out to like a cliff edge and like pan across the scene. I was like, it's the
Mm.
same as every open world game these days.
Yep.
It's
That
gonna be
Breath
an
of the
open world
Wild,
game. Yeah, Breath of
Genshin
the Wild. Yeah,
Impact. Yeah. I do still hope there's a load screen when you walk in the town so that the map can like reshuffle like what's on it. You know what I mean? Rather than like it just being completely open and you just walk up like, like real life. Like, oh, I'm in the city now, Like let there be, I don't know, like a stronghold and you gotta like push A to go in the thing.
right. Kind of like
Yeah.
a Destiny thing where we have like our hub city that everyone's just
Mm.
in, and then when you leave, it's kind of like your own thing unless people are with you.
Yeah. Yeah. That would
So
be. Ooh.
me and Sarah had talked about it a while back. We had this great idea of an invasion system that obviously is probably not going to be in Wilds, but I thought it was genius when we came up with it. So if we have an open world map, what I want to see is that like if you have like your tracking up high enough or whatever, you can kind of see your monsters on this huge old map. But I want
Mhm.
them to be like have like a territory zone that like
Yes.
okay, it's somewhere around here. This is his territory, and then if you kill a monster then a nearby monster takes over its territory and has a bigger zone. And that's
Ooh.
how you would introduce like elder dragons and stuff is that you start killing away the monsters and suddenly there's no power. And so a power vacuum has to come in and an elder dragon scoops up the whole zone. And you have to
Ooh.
play around with every time you kill something or go back to town, like the monster's territories are shuffling around and people are occupying different territories. And you have
Oh,
to
that
go
would be
out
so
there.
dope.
Like, how engaging would that be? That'd be
That
so
is
cool.
that sounds so dope. And like maybe if two monsters did a turf war, the amount of turf that they could be shift
Yeah,
in.
like they
So
move
yeah.
around. Yeah.
Yeah, so it wouldn't even be like static. Like you could open the map and all you would see is the blobs of turf just kind of moving around.
Right,
Because if
as
the
the
map is gonna
monster's
be
moving.
Yeah, and like as the map, because if the map is gonna be huge, it's not gonna be like 3 monsters per map no more. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like there might be 10, 20 large monsters on this map, right? 4 or 5 per biome. Like it's gonna be a lot of monsters interacting together at the same
Well, we've
time,
seen
which
like
is
the Stampede thing where we had like 5 of those sand or 7 or whatever, like a ton of them.
yeah,
If that's not just a cutscene and that's gonna be like a thing, we could see a lot of
lot
monsters.
like a lot of little. Yeah, I'm talking
We
about
see, yeah,
large
we seen the
monsters.
little
Yeah,
monsters too. Yeah, like where there's just
yeah.
like dozens of them.
Yeah. I was like, damn, this is a lot going on at once. So it feels like it's gonna be a big jump, even just based on the little bit that we got. It's gonna be fun, man. I just yeah, and if it's gonna be open world, like I did pose this question, like Breath of the Wild open world, like go kill the final boss right now if you want, or
I think we'll
like
probably still have like our, our guild assignments and stuff to go and do stuff. I think that's gonna have to be the story progression. Is you're gonna have to check out places and like certain monsters will only spawn once you've done them in the story kind
mm,
of thing. It would just evolve that way. That's how I could see them doing it at least.
yeah, I could see that because like I don't know, I have this like this thought, this like empathy, right? Like, oh, okay, I'm a new player. I've never played Monster Hunter before. Booted up the game. You can go do whatever, whenever, right? Kind of Breath of the Wild style. And a Valstrax just decides to
Just
show up.
rockets out of the side, yeah. And you're dead.
Like, oh, what just happened? You're HR1 and the Valstrax just decides to pull up like, oh, like,
Well, and I like those quests back in like the older games where you have like, hey, go collect mushrooms, but it's like Glavenus is there, and yeah, good luck, kind of thing. I
yeah.
would love if they had stuff like that where it's like they just had all the monsters kind of out, and it's like,
Mm.
hey, it's up to you to not die.
To navigate, right. Like I could see it. It's like one of those like double-edged sword, right? Like it could be a cool thing like for vets. Like, oh yeah, I'd go kill a Rajang right
I'll
now.
get my
You
parts
know?
early, upgrade that shit
Yeah.
early on. Yeah,
Let's go. Like, dude, I wore the disco pants so long in base rise because I killed the Vajang. But but also I could see it like turning away new people because, all right, first Monster Hunter game, this is great. What is this Kushala AR? Like, what?
but
Like,
do
pull up
people
on your
really
level 1.
get mad about stuff like that where because like that happens in Zelda all the time where it's like, oh, I went out and the fucking giant hill knocks threw a bomb at me and I died immediately kind of thing, and you're like,
Mm,
I think that's just like one of those things that are like fun. You're like, oh, look what I accidentally did kind of thing.
yeah,
So like I don't think
yeah,
people really like, at least people who aren't gonna stick around, they're not gonna like get turned off by stuff like that. Like I
yeah.
feel like
I
that's
guess
something that's
it.
interesting.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I guess it just depends on the penalty, right? Because like when you die in Zelda, you basically just show back up. Like nothing happens really. But like if you die in Monster, you're like, man, I used one of my cards for this, and that's
What
another
is that like?
conversation
Come
to
on.
have. Yeah.
Like what is that really? A cart? Like, oh no, my reward dropped by like 1,000 zenny. Like
Yeah.
whatever. It's not that big of a deal. I think people also they don't like dying, especially in Monster Hunter.
Mm.
But I don't think it's that big a deal. You don't lose anything. It's not like you drop your items on death or anything. Like you lose time, basically. It's
Time.
just
Yeah.
time.
Time and you get more and more stressful, right? Like, oh damn, I'm 2 cards in. I ain't got no more cards. Okay, here we go. Time to lock in for real. And then you lose and you feel mad
But
because
it's like,
yeah.
but you still
But
have like the
yeah,
whole abandoned feature where like I took 2 cards, I'm just gonna reset and try this again,
true,
kind of thing. Like
true. For sure, for
I
sure.
kind of hope they get rid of that. Well, actually, I don't because I speed run, and that would be awful if they got rid of
Oh my
that.
god.
Well, could you imagine like if you don't have abandoned? Like I need to reset this quest now, and I have to go up and die, and then die again, and then die
Oh,
again. Like it would
so
take
bad.
forever. And they
Man,
want to kill
I don't
speed
envy
running, get
you.
rid of the abandoned thing.
Yeah, I don't envy you guys. Like, the speed running thing, I kind of want to, for them to have like arena quests, right? Like specifically tailored for speed running, right? The monster's gonna spawn here every time. It's gonna be this big every
Well, and they
time.
did in World with the special
Yeah.
arenas and stuff. Like
Mm,
they have that, but the problem with the special arenas is that after you kill it, it's on like a rotating cycle, and it's not always there. So you're like,
right.
what
I
is
just
that
want it to
for?
be like you can go to the arena quest person. You know how there's like a village, there's a high rank, a hub, and then there's an arena person. Go to the arena person. There's a list of every monster, and they're going to be the same size. They're going to spawn in the same location in the arena. and we'll keep track of your times for you. Hell, maybe even put a leaderboard on there. Like that would be dope.
I
I
like
think.
that because I mean that's great. I'm afraid for like the PC community because it's all gonna be 1 second fucking leaderboards.
That's true. They gonna be
And
cheating.
yeah, like so I like the idea of having like an official leaderboard, but it's just gonna get tainted, I feel. So and I
Mm,
feel like if people see that, that's gonna discourage them from even trying. And at that point I don't want it. I honestly I
yeah,
don't want it there. Like if you can
could
have
do
like
more
your own
damage.
local, like your own best times and stuff, and then you have to post that out. But I don't
Mm,
want you to see. I don't want your times to be posted online for everyone to see.
that's fair, yeah. Because then people gonna cheat, and yeah, okay, yeah. But like, I was like, man, do something for my speed running homies, man. Like, because the resetting for the RNG and this monster's too big, it's gonna miss. This monster's too small. This monster's spawning in the bad spawn. It's gonna ruin my time. I was like, man, put something in here for y'all. List
It's a
of,
lot of
you
work.
know, yeah, like list of all the monsters in the game in the arena, same spawn location, same size every time. Boom. And
Yeah,
same HP, right? You know, like,
I wouldn't. Yeah, I wouldn't be mad about that at all. It's just something for us to have some consistency with. That'd be nice. Now here's the thing. Why I wish they would just give us like a quest editor in game where it's like, okay, I can have
mm,
special arena or just pick a map, pick your monster, and then pick the spawn location. Add 2 monsters, add 3 monsters, whatever, and just that. As simple as that. Map, monsters, and your spawn location.
yeah, that would be
Go.
dope.
And
Yeah,
it's just
that
like
would be so
you do
dope.
it. It'd be like investigations, but you build your own
But you
investigations
build
rather
your
than
own.
randomly pick them up.
Yeah, that would be so dope. And it would go so as far as like, oh, I want to go hunt this in this particular, right? Or like, there's a section of the community that just likes taking in-game camera shots. Like, oh,
Right. You can
I can
guarantee your
see
monsters there at this. Yeah, like
bingo. Or, oh yeah, I'm gonna record this turf war. I'm gonna just put a boom, boom, go, and they're gonna run into each other eventually. You know, like, oh yeah,
right. A lot of uses for something like that.
I see that.
And
I
you'd be
see the
like, oh,
vision.
I want to farm this one monster, so I'm just gonna fight 5 of them at once.
Dude, that's nutty. Five at the same time. But if it's on a big map, I see it. Yeah.
Right. I mean, I feel like they probably won't do something like that just because, like, oh, I could target farm one specific monster for I don't know ever. Because especially if you put 5 on and they do like the whole health scaling for multiple
Mm,
monsters, I don't know, it might be an issue, but
yeah.
I
Chain
would
them
still like
together.
it. Yeah. Um, I think that's pretty much everything I had listed to
Yeah.
talk about. Anything else you want to talk about while we're here?
That's dope. I guess I'll sprinkle one more thing in.
Mhm.
So, RNG, man. Charms or decos.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Where you at? Yeah.
Okay. So I know a lot of people don't like it, but I really liked World's deco farming.
Mm,
Like again, a lot of things they implement are great on paper, but just kind of poorly implemented. Because there's one
mm-hmm.
big issue with deco farming in World was that some things that you needed for builds, like artillery or guard up or mighty
Oh,
bow,
charge.
yeah,
Yeah.
are very very rare, and you can't really play optimally without those because it kind of affects your build.
Mm,
And so people got really mad trying to get those. Attack up jewels, I don't care about. 4 raw isn't going to make or break anything for you. Doesn't make a difference.
facts. Facts. Facts.
But I really liked deco farming because it was like you basically had 90% of your set done because the charms were static. You just like
Yep.
craft them, and then your armors had most of the pieces, and you're filling in like 12 decos, and that's it.
That's it. Yeah.
And so I feel like that was a lot easier to manage. Now, I still would like to change it so that deco farming, you can craft most of the decos, all like the single skill decorations, monster
Mm,
parts, fine. But like if you're getting into like the level 4 decos where they have like combo skills of like, nothing OP like, attack boost and crit boost, but it's
great
like,
push.
yeah, you have
Yeah.
like free element and like fast eater or something like that. Like
Mm-hmm.
things like that, all like the level 4 decos and some of the mixed decos, that's all like investigation rewards or whatever. Like that's an RNG reward.
Yeah.
But everything else that you need to actually build, like your attack up, crit boost, mighty bow, whatever the heck you want, that's all part craft. I would still like that. So it's like you could do 90% of your decorations without RNG, just
Mm,
parts and stuff, and then some of the extra stuff is all RNG. And then
okay.
charms, I want to see fixed again, like World, where it's like, okay, we can only build like, I think World only had like 5 or 6 charms. I think not very many. But
Well, yeah, but five or six ones that like people used.
yeah, well,
Like,
because you
Yeah, there's a
had
big
to.
list, but
Yeah,
yeah.
but I would like to see those charms come back. But it's like we have like 10 to 20 with various like fixed skills in some slots,
Mm,
and so it's like you could build all those or build like the two or three that you need. But I don't want charm RNG anymore. Like charm RNG is so dumb because people like undersell how much of your build is revolved around your charm because you have to
mm,
accommodate your armor sets for your charm whenever that changes, and
mm-hmm.
so it gets kind of annoying. So I kind of want a hybrid of worlds, skills, and armors and farming, but a little bit of quality of life of like Sunbreak where we can just build most of the decorations and stuff.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, and that's where I think a lot of people are landing on it. Like I'm kind of the opposite of you. Like I kind of prefer the Sunbreak way because
Mm-hmm.
like if you're always rolling charms every single hunt, you're gonna get a decent charm. Like you're gonna get a charm that's serviceable that you could use pretty well. Like hey, you gotta have attack one and a couple two slots. Like and whatever else is on the charm is a bonus to you at that point. But you're gonna get a serviceable charm eventually, and then being able to craft your own decorations, and you know what you can slot in, and if you don't have it, it goes back to the loop. Like, okay, go hunt this monster so I can make the thing that I need to slot in. That's cool. So, and I feel like it's easier to share an armor set with that system, right? Because I could say get a comparable charm. It doesn't have to be exactly this one, get a comparable charm, slot in these decos. You can copy me word for word, bar for bar, and enjoy this build that I made. You know what I'm saying? But with World and Iceborne, I remember I showed somebody something. I think I was like my my guild card was at 0 longsword usage. So I was like, all right, let me play longsword this one time. Here's my set. And like somebody replied and they were like, hey bro, where's your agitator at? I just ain't got the decos, man. I don't know what to tell you. You know what I'm saying? And we just looking at each other like, oh, no, that's fair. I guess ain't nothing you can do about that, you know? So I feel like it's easier to share with the Sunbreak system. But I do want to have more player agency. Like, yeah, sure, craft some decorations, craft some charms, and then maybe a little bit of RNG sprinkled in there for some of the higher level stuff. But like I like the idea of, hey man, you might need a couple mantles to make this happen, but you can make it happen rather than feeling like you're at the mercy of RNG, you
Mm-hmm.
know? So that's
So what do you think about the anomaly system and upgrading your armors for the anomaly skills?
that's an excellent question. I didn't participate in that much, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
I like sharing my sets. So I don't feel like it's fair for me to RNG 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pieces and just tell y'all, hey, good luck. I hope you get it. You know what I'm
See, and
saying?
I was kind of the same way. That's kind of like how the sets were going. It's like, how do I tell you? Because you can get these skills on any armor piece if you
Mm-hmm.
roll good enough. Like,
Yeah.
that,
Yeah.
that's kind of why I fell off making builds and stuff in Sunbreak. Like after like title update 3 or 4, because it's just like I don't know.
Just
You fucking
curious.
do it. Like it's
Yeah.
just roll. Like how
Yeah.
do I tell you what to pick?
I would make, you know, like, hey, here's my charm. This is how good it is. I didn't even pick the best one I had just to make it, you know, more accessible to people. And then I would say, hey, but look, if you want a curious craft to make it better, be my guest, chief, you know? But rather than like, oh yeah, I curious crafted 6, I got furious on 2 pieces and dragon conversion on the other 2. Like, dude, godly, man, I'm not just gonna leave y'all out in the water to just go handle that. Nah, man. So yeah, I didn't use it that much because I like sharing my stuff, man, and I like people like coming back and be like, bro, I made that set that you talked about. It was really good. Great, you know. But you can't do that if you got the curious craft everywhere. You know.
Mm-hmm. So then, now going back to Iceborne, did you do the Sophie weapons?
Yeah, yeah.
So what do you think
Sometimes
about that system as far as how the grind for Sophie parts and the RNG of changing your weapons and manipulating them?
I it takes a bit of time and like work, right? Like I don't like that the weapons are RNG, right? Like I fought so many Safis to get a fire longsword to go fight Alatreon. It took too damn long, and I'm at the mercy of just, is it gonna be fire longsword this time in the pool? I don't like that. Like give me the mats, let me go craft what I want. But I don't mind the system where like, yeah, you can upgrade individual pieces of the weapon and you kind of custom make your weapon based on the RNG. And they kind of, I don't want to say they hit a sweet spot, but it wasn't too bad to upgrade up to, you know, 4 level 5s and 1 level 6.
Right, because it would always prioritize kind of the stuff that you have once you put it on. So it'd be easier to get like, okay, I have attack 1, now I have attack 2. Okay, now I can get attack 3 kind of thing.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. Like it did take a bit of pieces and a bit of time, but it's not too bad. And I kind of like that. Like I wouldn't even be mad if charms went to something like that, and that's how the RNG went, right? And you can have a couple charms all
that you kind of build up.
Exactly.
That would actually be really cool. So think Wild's endgame where we have whatever Elder Dragons, whatever endgame farm we have, Arc Tempered, whatever it is. But you use the special material for those to take like a base charm and then you roll it and be like, I want that skill. And then roll it again. And you're like, I can either upgrade that skill or get a new skill. And then you can roll it and like, I want to re-roll the second skill only, or I want to re-roll the slots and just kind of build your own charm.
Build your own charm and build a couple of them for different weapons, rapid morph for the mighty morphins. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, like I see it. Like that'd be that would be hella cool.
So it's kind of RNG, but not really. You have some choice in the matter.
Yeah. And I feel like that's probably the sweet spot is a little bit RNG, but player agency, like what you're going for, you very much have control rather than just flip a coin. Who knows? Am I going to get furious this time? Like, yeah.
Right, yeah. Let's flip 7,000 coins and see what happens.
Yeah.
No. So yeah, I would like to see that change too. Like, I don't know if Capcom's gonna treat Wild like a live service game, kind of like how they have with World and Iceborne, where they have to slowly increment updates with power creep and features and stuff. I kind of hope they don't, because then they can do stuff like that where it's like, okay, I've got everything I need. Like we're done. We don't have to do any more of that. But I feel like that's just kind of the way they're going. They're going to keep implementing more layers of RNG for players to spend more time on to stay interacted with the game. And I hope that's not the case, but I feel like that's the way they're going to go with it. But
yeah, and I hope the power creep is not as bad, right? Like you get to Fatalis, 4-piece Fatalis, and one something else. That's it. Boom.
Fatty set was so dumb.
It's it. It's like and looking at Sunbreak, you can kind of see like, okay, lessons were learned here. Like the Primal Xeno set is good. It's pretty good. It's got a lot of slots, but it ain't end all be all. You're gonna be wearing other sets of armors. You're gonna be doing other stuff.
Right.
It's still kind of fun to slap together a set as opposed to, oh, I'm at Iceborne. I killed Vitalis a couple times. 4-piece.
Right. Yeah. We're done. That's it. Every weapon doesn't matter. We're using that armor set.
Yep. 4-piece and a helmet. 4-piece and arms, depending on what weapon you want or what weapon you got. So it's like, dude, that's.
I don't think we're gonna have that problem with Wilds originally, because I'm 100% sure Wilds is gonna be a high rank game. Every Monster Hunter game starts out high rank, and has there been a high rank game that's got like some crazy power creep? Because I don't think there is. Even with like Arc Tempered gear in World, I don't think it was.
Yeah, no, it wasn't that crazy. But they are adopting the, I don't want to call it live service, but it kind of is, like patch rollouts, right? They're getting more and more, right? Because like base World, what did we get? Lunastra, Cove to Roth, and
then it was pretty much Devil Joe was right.
Devil Joe, my fault, yeah.
And then it was just Arc Tempereds all the way until Behemoth. And we had Behemoth, and then we had Leshen,
right. Which is, a fair amount of monsters to add, 5 or 6, that's a decent amount. But if you look at 2.0 base Rise, we got like 8 monsters in that one patch.
Right. Yeah.
Rather than, 3.0 wasn't as big of a patch. But that's still 2 extra months. So we got 10, like the roster grew by 10, so are we still gonna, have that kind of, base Wilds is cool, but here's 12 more monsters over the course of
everything being at the start, or would you prefer the slow rollout of content over, 6 months or 8 months?
I do want like the game to feel complete, like have a final boss, boom. And then after that, probably a slow rollout, right? Because I don't like we had to wait till 3.0 to beat Rise, right?
Right,
like,
the ending, that's when the actual ending.
Yeah, like don't do that again. But Like have a Asharish, Valda, Anatolka, have an end. Like okay, this is the end. There's no more. There's gonna be more coming later. And just don't make it too power creep, but make
So
it
then,
worth. Yeah.
so would it be acceptable if we had the entire roster in, and then the updates are like, okay, we're gonna do like the arc tempered versions and the risen versions? Because honestly, I gotta say, I really like risen monsters. I think
Mm,
they're really good. I like the whole like, okay, this is like a pseudo G rank monster in a high rank game. It's got a more advanced AI, a better move set, and its own like unique armor and weapons. So it's like the upgrade, but we're in
mm.
high rank. I kind of like that, to be honest.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I would be cool with the Risen, right, or the Arc Tempered being right if you have a whole class of monsters that can have that upgrade. Because the Risen's how many monsters is that? Six?
Yeah, I think it's just
Cam,
the elders.
Kush, Teo, Val, Shag. Oh, it's five. So just that's still though five monsters, but they're familiar but not familiar. They come with their own armor set. I would be happy with the whole roster being there, and then we get a new arch every time or something like
Right, like
that, or a new
every month or whatever, we get a new
yeah.
risen or something. Now, the thing about like that, I was kind of sad because I was really hoping in World and Iceborne that we would get like arc tempered versions of like the tier 2 monsters, like Odo Garen and
Mm,
Azure Rathalos and Silver Rathalos, stuff like that. But we only got them for Elder
the
Dragons.
elders, yeah, yeah.
So because I don't know if you're probably not aware, but in World, the Arc Temper was just a checkbox. Is literally a checkbox. So we had mods for World, and you check the Arc Tempered box, the monsters would get more advanced AI and more moves. Even like
Huh.
Odo Garen. So like Odo Garen, when he was in his Arc Tempered form, he was always in the superheated state. If you fed Odo
Oh
Garen, he got
yeah,
to eat. He glows red and
he would
steamy.
in
He's
Steam, yeah.
always like that. That's Arc Tempered Odo
Oh,
Garen.
so kind of like the hazards.
Yeah, exactly. Think like hazard
Yeah,
monsters. It's just like a checkbox. Like, hey, here's a crazier version of the monster. Go
that would
have
be
fun.
cool. Yeah.
So I was hoping we'd get that in World, but I would be really excited if we got that for Wild. So we're like, we have like the whole roster, but as they do content updates, we're introducing hazard monsters or risen elders and stuff like that. We're making kind of like pseudo G rank monsters that are expanding our high rank game. That's going to lead into whatever the eventual G rank version is
Yeah.
going to be.
Yeah. And that way you don't quote unquote, like some people say this, but whatever, bloat the roster of the game, right?
Right.
Like
We
it's
have
still
4 Rathaloses and 4 Diabloses. And
right. Like it's still Rathalos, but Hazard. It's different. Maybe it comes with its own armor. Like yeah, I feel like that's a good like sweet spot. That's a good like give and take as far as yeah, here's this new version, comes with new armor, enjoy it, but it's still the monster that you know and love, but the moves are different. You got to approach it differently and hits harder, crazier AI. Think emergency apex. Like, yeah, oh
right,
yeah.
they're faster.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Mm-hmm.
speed goes a long way in Monster Hunter. Like
Dude,
monsters that
yeah.
just move quicker, your timing's going to be different. You can't just get into a rhythm.
Right, right. And there's less taunting, and you're like, oh, it's my turn. No, it's not my turn. I got slapped. Okay, wait.
That would be another cool thing if they like had can't talk. If they have hazard monsters that don't do any of their end animation taunts, it's like it's just all go all the
I'll
time.
go. Ooh, that'd be crazy.
Yeah,
That'd be
it's
crazy.
like crying
Gotta,
heavy Bowgun over here. Like I can't move quick
I
enough.
can't. Yeah, slap that shield on, man. You be alright.
Did you ever play Shield Heavy Bowgun in Iceborne?
Not in Iceborne. I played it in Sunbreak. I'll go back and play it. Yeah, but
It's
like
so
you,
funny.
yeah, you just aim, blink. Okay, I'm good. Wait, blink. Okay, yep.
Yeah, it's basically that. But like Shield was so effective in Iceborne, you could block literally everything. Arc Tempered Kieran, no problem.
Damn. Yeah. I think I hunted a special investigation risen Shigaru, like in a group, and I had I think I had spread but shield, bro. Just all of the AOE madness, crazy. It's cool. I'm just gonna aim. I'm just gonna
Yeah,
keep the gun up. I'll be alright.
yeah, it's fun. It's funny how effective it can be.
Mm. Yeah. Sprinkle a little guard up in there. You're good.
Yeah, kind of
So
have to.
yeah,
But
yeah. Hell yeah, man.
um, Yeah. So you got anything else you wanna chat about, shout out about, whatever you got to do? 'Cause
Um,
my
nah,
list is
man,
pretty much done.
yeah, nah, we had a good chat. We had a good chat, dude. Um, love Monster Hunter. I think it's gonna glow up like crazy this year. Like, if Return to the World is anything, like,
Yeah, it's
like
popping
damn,
off
go
like
back.
crazy.
Yeah, like go play the old game. Okay, like, and if we have some like interesting points where Monster Hunter shows up. For example, like Exo Primal. Rathalos is in Exo Primal right now. Even though that's another Capcom property and not a lot of people are playing it. But like if Capcom really like goes off and gets some of these collabs and gets Monster Hunter out there in a bunch of different games this year, because we have no game right now, I think Wild's gonna be another explosion, another world like, oh, everybody
So
knows.
I really hope that Wilds, the people that actually play Wilds, stick around because World sold an amazing amount of copies. Like it put
Mm,
Monster Hunter on the map. But the thing is, if you looked at like the Steam playlists or active users and like Twitch directory and stuff,
yeah,
it falls off really hard. People don't stick around with Monster Hunter,
stick
other than
around.
like the people like us, where we're like obsessed with it at this point.
Mm-hmm.
But like,
Mm-hmm.
I really hope Wilds gets to that point where people are like, okay, I'm in it. Like we're gonna just
Right.
we're in it. We're not gonna drop to like 2K active users and like
Yeah.
37 people watching on Twitch kind of thing.
Yeah, but there's something to be said about a game that's currently being updated, right? Because like Sunbreak's done, Iceborne's done. It's not new updates, right? Like if they announced, you know what, we're gonna put in a white fatalis, the player count would go
Oh right, exactly. Yeah, it
because
would
we would all
skyrocket.
pull up. We would be like, "Yo, what's good?" You know. So like, yeah, the player counts can seem kind of, but in his
We're on
heyday when
standby.
yeah, we're all chilling. We're all on standby. We're playing other games. The gamer palette is growing. Blah 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 blah. You know. So
Yeah. So let's hope that yeah, Wilds really delivers because honestly, it looks pretty good so far. I'm pretty excited for it. I mean, I think anyone that plays Monster Hunter obviously has to be.
hmm
There's no
oh
bad
yeah,
Monster Hunter game, regardless of
exactly.
what
And
people
they're
say about
all
Rise.
yeah, and they're all different. They're all just so different. They do enough. They take enough risks per game, and they all feel just so different. Where it's like, okay, yeah, this is gonna be different
And
than
I think that's
different
why
but the
the
same.
community is so like divisive on
hmm
this is the best Monster Hunter, this is my favorite Monster Hunter, because it's all Monster Hunter and all plays kind of the same, but they all play very differently too. So there's just a lot
hmm
of opinions going around.
Yeah, very same but different.
Mm,
Yeah, but still like Monster Hunter. Like when you see it, that's Mon Hunt. But
mm.
you gotta zoom in a little bit closer. Oh, that's this game. They're doing
Right.
this mechanic. Yeah, for sure, man.
All right, Jay. Well, it's good to have you. I appreciate you taking the time this late at night to talk with me. It's really fun. So
Yeah, man.
also nice meeting you because we've never talked in person before.
Yeah,
So
yeah. It's just a little bit of Twitter here and there. What's up? What's up? You know. But yeah, this was great. Late night's best for me, man. Kids are asleep. Dogs are asleep. Everyone is.
yeah, exactly.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
no one around.
I hear you, man. But yeah,
All right,
appreciate
man.
you having me on, man.
Yeah, you too. I appreciate it, man. So I'll talk to you later, and then keep in touch on Twitter and whatnot. So,
Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah. You know how it goes.
mm.
Shout out to the Gunners Guild, y'all.
Yeah. Thanks, man.
Yeah.
All right, peace. See ya.
Peace.